Everybody, how are we doing tonight? I'm sure we're all excited. I'm sure we're ready to go. Tonight is the night we have all been waiting for, the opening night of the NFL season. And tonight we're going to have the first game of the NFL season go on here in less than an hour. The Baltimore Ravens are going to play the Kansas City Chiefs in a rematch of the AFC Championship game from 1 year ago.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
As we is, like said, cost the Chandler Scott Hall and Kevin Nash for the first game of the season tonight. So thank you very much for joining us out there. If you're watching us right now live on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter, thank you very much for joining us tonight because we've all been waiting for the start of the NFL season. So what's going to happen tonight? Ravens going against the Chiefs in the first game here. This is a game I think I'm a little disappointed in a lot of Ravens fans the last couple of days. This is not just some other game. This is not a game. I know what the Ravens internally have been saying. Well, this is just another week. Well, we're just going to do another night, blah, blah, blah. I don't buy any of that. They want to win tonight. Today matters. Every day matters. You don't set yourself up for good position in January and all that other stuff. It doesn't matter. Today matters. Tonight matters. Obviously, you're not going to win the AFC Championship tonight, but you are going to be able to send a message to the rest of the league, to the chefs, to everybody, entire NFL. This might be the most watched games all season long, the opening night, if not the most watched NFL game all season long. So definitely tonight definitely matters to start the season. Now, what's happened today for the Ravens roster? Couple changes. Rashawn Ali, the third running back, was moved to injured reserve. Josh Ross, no surprise, was brought up for the practice squad to the active roster. So Ali is not on the roster anymore. He's going to be on IR for the first 4 games. They made that move, so it looked like he wasn't going to play. Ross is going to take his spot on the active roster. They've also activated Kadar Holloman and John Kelly activated up from the practice squad tonight. The Chefs, not really anything of note, no major injuries. CJ Hansen, Marlon Tutupu, Ethan Driscoll, Peyton Hendershot not playing. The big one, obviously, former Raven Marquise Brown, hurt in preseason, not going to go at all tonight. Ravens inactive. A lot of the rookies are not going to play. Bro Braid, TJ Tampa, Adiza Isaac, Nick Samak, Salah, we'll just call him Salah, Devontae Walker, John Harbaugh guy, Brent Irvin, unavailable tonight, not going to play at all. So that's what's going to happen tonight as far as inactive. So the Ravens are entering the first game, at least the first game, very healthy. The only guy that really, all these guys are pretty much healthy, distracted, except for probably Adiza Isaac, who is still kind of working his way back, had a couple of injuries. That's really the only one they didn't put on IR as far as injury, working his way back from a soft tissue injury. So what are we going to see tonight? So I think what a good thing to do is to go over the tail of the tape for these two franchises. Go over the tail of the tape. The prime time theme there. And so the tail of the tape. So one of my favorite shows growing up was the HBO boxing. My man, this is a shout out to Jim Lampley. My man, Jim Lampley. I didn't like Larry Merchant, Max Kellerman, and those guys, George Foreman, the tail of the tape. Let's see what the tail of the tape is as comparing these two teams tonight. Obviously, the marquee is the quarterback position. These are the two best quarterbacks in the National Football League. The two-time MVP and current MVP, Lamar Jackson, and also to Pat Mahomes on the other side, the reigning Super Bowl winner, MVP, former league MVP as well. I think Lamar has a lot to prove. I think this will be 1-5, I believe, if they lose tonight. So he's a lot to prove, motivated. He has went ahead and lost 20 pounds as well. Lamar is very, very good in the regular season. I think the new look is going to bother Kansas City as well. I think Lamar is going to do fine tonight. He's going to do outstanding. I think both of these guys are really anxious to prove that they're the best quarterback in the league here. You got to give the edge to Mahomes, I guess, because it's Mahomes, because he's the primarily the best quarterback in the league, thought of as the best quarterback in the NFL. At the running back position as well, Derrick Henry, the unveiling of Derrick Henry in a Ravens uniform. So Ravens as a unit here, they did put Ali on IR for the first couple games. So it's just going to be pretty much him and Justice Hill tonight. John Kelly, I think, was also activated, may just play special teams. Isaiah Pacheco is going to start for the Chefs. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the draft pick they had a few years ago, backs him up. I don't know how much they're going to run the ball here in the night. So I think the Ravens are for sure. I love to see them establish Derrick Henry in this game. Establish him as the force in the run game. Establish him. Look, this is what was wrong in the championship game. A lot of people have said it. Too often, John Harbaugh goes away from the run game if it's not going well, or he kind of gets lost. Stick with 22 tonight. Like if it goes well, no matter what, stick with Derrick Henry. So absolutely keep that in mind tonight. Wide receiver room. Questions, I think, on both sides. Changes here. No more Odell Beckham for the Baltimore Ravens this season. Zay Flowers, no question about it, is your number one receiver. He's going to be flanked also too on one side by Rashad Bateman. Definitely no Devontae Walker tonight. So you're going to see as the third receiver that's going to be Nelson Aguilar. It could be Tylan Wallace on the depth chart. We'll see who gets the most snaps tonight. That's going to be your receiving core for the Ravens. You're going to see a lot of two tight end, I think, for the Ravens as well. Rashid Rice was their leading receiver last year. I think he really developed. Maybe getting suspended at some point, got in some trouble in the offseason, is going to play tonight. The depth of the receiving group for the Chefs is pretty good. They don't have maybe an elite receiver yet on there, but they did draft Xavier Worthy in the offseason. They did go ahead and get Hollywood Brown, who's not going to play tonight, unfortunately. They did go ahead. They still have they required Juju Smith-Schuster. Nicole Hartman is still on their squad as well, Justin Watson. So not a kind of like similar to the Ravens, not a better top to bottom, maybe like last year. So a good top to bottom group that the Chefs have. Give a little bit of F to the Chefs because of that. The depth of the group matters here. Now, this is an interesting one here. You got the Ravens with one of the top 5 receivers in all football, Mark Andrews, who is healthy, did have a car accident in the offseason. He's healthy. He's going to go tonight. Isaiah Likely is also going to play a lot. We're going to see a lot. The one problem they've had with Likely is playing him on the field at the same time as a Mark Andrews. So we'll see how that goes tonight, playing them both. Charlie Kolar, the Ravens might have the best tight end total group in the NFL. The Chefs maybe have the greatest tight end of all time. At the end of his career, let's see how Kelsey does as well. Kelsey was banged up a lot last year. Good in the end, good in the playoffs, but we'll see. I'm even going to give the edge to the Ravens because I think the Ravens have the best group in the league. Our biggest concern, obviously, is the offensive line. Obviously, as Raven fans, if you've been watching this, we're all concerned about the O-line. They have struggled all season long with the offensive line, all preseason long. It's been question marks. Ronnie Stanley hasn't really played at all in the preseason as well. Neither Tyler Linderbaum really didn't play at all. He's just getting back from a neck injury. They've all started in practice for the week beginning. I expect a rotation from the Ravens early, certainly at right tackle. They've listed Pat McCurry, the Super Six man, as the starting right tackle, along with Roger Rosengarten. They could be trying to just ease Rosengarten in here early. Also, too, at the right guard, the biggest concern, Daniel Falele looked lousy in preseason. No other way to slice it. Daniel Falele did not look good. So interesting to see right guard. They did not have Salah on the active roster tonight. So he's inactive. So you got Daniel Falele and Ben Cleveland tonight at guard as your options. So that's what you're going to do unless you're going to use McCurry there. I think there could be rotating McCurry at both spots too on the right side. See how that goes. Definitely, I think McCurry feel much more comfortable with him at the right guard spot rather than Daniel Falele, who didn't look good. The Chefs, I think, are the opposite. I mean, they have a lot of strength on the offensive line. I think maybe guard to guard, this is the best one in the league. You talk about Joe Thuney, Trey Smith, and Creed Humphrey. Creed Humphrey just getting a large extension. This might be the best tackle guard to guard group in the NFL. I have as the best guard to guard group in the NFL. Right tackle, Jawan Taylor. They're looking for a little bit more. Did better on the right side last year. They are starting Kingsley. I don't want to mispronounce his last name. A rookie at left tackle. So that is something, possible weakness that the Chefs might have here at the beginning of the season. They have a better line than the Ravens as of right now. D-Line! Our boy, Nawandi, I think I pronounced this right, Matabuke, the former Justin Matabuke, and the Ravens offensive line. Here's a change that's made, and I haven't heard it talked a lot about under the radar. Travis Jones is now going to start at the end spot next to with Matabuke, next to Michael Pierce. So that was Broderick Washington. Travis Jones had an outstanding camp and is able to go ahead and start there. So that is huge for the Ravens, getting a lot of push up front. They're going to need that push up front. On the other side, I think the Chefs probably, again, maybe have the best D tackle in the entire league. Chris Jones commands 2 and 3 guys. George Casales, I think, had 10-plus sacks last year. Their line is also very good. I think this is a push. I don't think either team has an advantage. Both teams have, I think, a very strong defensive line on both sides. Linebacker, I think Ravens are outstanding here on the inside. I think Roquan Smith, I think, maybe the best inside linebacker in all of football, either him or Fred Warner. Trenton Simpson is not a concern for us. He looked outstanding in camp from minute one. He looked outstanding in the last game he played last year against Pittsburgh. He looked outstanding, I thought, during camp. No competition. Absolutely, Trenton Simpson, I think, will fill in nice next to Roquan Smith all season. Concern with the pass rush on the outside. So they're going to start Cal Van Noy, who had his best season of his career in terms of sacks, I think, one of the best seasons. 9 sacks last year. On the other side, they're going to start Adafi Owe. Adafi Owe, they did pick up the extension for Owe. Big time. Very important that they picked up the extension for Owe. A lot of Ravens fans have a lot of faith in him. They're going to need him. Jadeveon Clowney is gone now. Not as worried about the linebacking core as well for them because of the Ravens had so much. They kind of go in and out a lot. So I don't think, but there is no dominant edge rusher on the team, but the inside group is outstanding. Nick Bolton on the other side, I think, leads a Kansas City linebacking core. I think Nick Bolton, I think he's underrated. He's below Fred Warner and Roquan Smith, but I think he's right there. He's top 5. I think he's super underrated, covers the run and the pass well, very decisive. I think the Ravens have a better overall group than the Chefs. D-backs, defensive backs, cornerback, and safety. You're looking at Kyle Hamilton in the frame there. Kyle Hamilton, I think, might be is the best safety in the National Football League. I think he's Swiss Army knife. I don't know if he's going to play nickelback full time tonight. We will see, but you're going to see a lot of that. Marcus Williams as well. Marlon Humphrey. Hopefully, we can get a healthy Marlon Humphrey. Brandon Stevens was fantastic last year off season. Nate Wiggins, great deep group here. They can't even find a spot for Bo Braid and TJ Tampa because of the depth of the defensive back group. Outstanding stuff for the Ravens. I think on the other side, they did lose Snead on the other side. So that matters. That matters. But I think Trent McDuffie, I did think the Chefs did keep their best corner, Trent McDuffie. I think McDuffie probably the second best corner in the league behind Hot Sauce Gardner this season. He's outstanding. I think the Chefs group, it's a little bit of a concern when you lose a guy like Snead on the other side. Definitely give the edge to the Ravens. Definitely. And I think the Ravens would have the edge in every game they play because I think maybe this is the best secondary in the league. Special teams. The GOAT, Justin Tucker, is back this season for the Ravens. Let's see if he's already messing with the guys. What the Nads on a kicker, messing with Kelsey and the quarterback on the other side. I guess sticking his helmet to the point where they got all upset and threw his helmet down the field. So the Nads on the kicker. So he's, I think, no question about it, best group. I think the Ravens have one of the best special teams groups in the NFL. The GOAT, Justin Tucker. Nick Moore is back, his long snapper as well, along with Jordan Stout. I don't think if there is a next group of kicker, it's Harrison Butker. Not for Justin Tucker, he would have been the best kicker in the NFL the last few seasons. So not only do we have the best quarterback in the league, we have the best two kickers in the league, Harrison Butker. Two teams, also two very good special teams coaches. Very good special teams on these groups here. So definitely as well. Ravens, I think, usually have the edge with special teams. Going to get a chance to see Deontay Hardy for the first time tonight, unveiling as the punt returner. And the big one, the two of the best coaches in the NFL, Andy Reid, I think, we're going for 3 straight Super Bowls. John Harbaugh has the Super Bowl of his own. He was outcoached flat out in the championship game. He can't figure out, he doesn't know what to do with Andy Reid. He used to work with Andy Reid. He was his former special teams coach in Philadelphia. Also, Andy Reid he also worked for Andy Reid as a secondary coach this last year before getting the gig in Baltimore all those years ago. Andy Reid, 15 consecutive years in Philly, immediately gets the job in KC, and now he's taking the Chiefs now, going for the 3rd straight Super Bowl. I think you'd have a coaching edge in almost every case, except he can't figure out Andy Reid. I think Andy Reid might be the best coach of all time. One of them, for sure. All right. Tail of the tape. So, Ravens against the Chiefs tonight. What happens here? I think the Ravens should be more ready to go, should have more fire breathing out of their mouth, should have more on stake. There's more for them. You haven't looked good against these guys. You should want to go ahead and play well against these guys. You should want to go out there and do well against the Chiefs. So definitely that's a thing that you want to go ahead and do. What I think is going to happen, I think the Ravens win 24-10. They are externally saying all the right things. They're saying all the right things. They're saying, well, this is not a revenge game. Well, it's all right. It's not revenge. I can't buy that. I can't buy that. That's just not the case. They didn't even watch the Super Bowl, a lot of them, because it was so raw. So you get them in the first game, and it's not revenge. No chance. 24-10. Went over this on the podcast last night, but I'll go over it tonight. 2 X factors here. Derrick Henry, the X factor for the Ravens, like that. So we're going to see the unveiling of Derrick Henry. How much are they going to use Derrick Henry? How valuable is he going to be in the game tonight? Is it going to be a season with a steady diet of Derrick Henry in these games? I keep saying, and everybody keeps calling me crazy by saying, well, it's absolutely going to be Derrick Henry blowing away Lamar Jackson for carries and all that. We'll see, man. The team has not shown a history of that. John Harbaugh, and I'm saying John Harbaugh because I've seen this over several coordinators, does not like bell cow. He does not like to have one guy with a steady diet. Now you've got one of the best in the league. You got a top 5 running back on your team. Can you give him a steady diet and feed the beast and go ahead and get that squared away? Nate Wiggins tonight. So what are we going to have from Nate Wiggins? It's definitely an X. So he's probably not in the starting lineup. I don't know if he's going to be at nickel, if that's going to be a Darius Washington. We will see. But definitely, first chance we're going to see a lot of these rookies, we just saw it, are going to be inactive tonight. But we are going to see Nate Wiggins tonight for the first time here. Also, one more thing. Roger Rosengarten, Voorhees, and Falele. That's going to be the big story. You're going to get tested early for sure because you're going to go up against Chris Jones of the Chefs here in the first game. So that is going to be a big thing, going against that guy as well. All right. Who is ready for the NFL season to start? We are all ready for sure. Definitely, we're going to go ahead and check this out. Let's go ahead and get started with this today.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Blow your eardrum out. So it's time for the game to start. I'll be on after the game. Right after the game starts, I'll be taking notes, going over the game, doing a post recap, going over what we're all hoping for is a Ravens victory tonight. Thank you very much. Happy football season, Ravery Sports. You have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the game.